In this video, we're going to discuss pronoun case and comparisons. So, you need to use subjective case pronouns in some situations and objective case pronouns in other situations. We're going to start off looking at when to use subjective case pronouns. So you should use subjective case pronouns in comparisons when the pronoun would precede an implied verb. So by implied verb, I mean that when we English speakers use cases of comparisons that end with pronouns, we tend not to put the verb back on the end of the sentence. And this is what causes the problems. For example, in this sentence, John is a smarter math student than I or me. Most of the time, in our everyday conversation, we would say John is smarter in math than me. This, however, is incorrect because the verb, which is implied, is going to require a subjective case. Let's look at the example a little bit closer, and I'll show you what I mean. So if we put that implied verb on the end of the sentence, it makes it a lot easier to determine which pronoun to use. John is a smarter math student than I or me am. Well, no English speaker would say John is a smarter math student than me am. No, we would say that I am. The problem is we leave am off the end. We just say he's smarter than me. But it should be he's smarter than I. So if you need to add that verb back on the end when you speak or when you write, it's perfectly okay. But you can also just say, John is a smarter math student than I. Let's look at another example. You are certainly taller than he or him. Again, if you can't determine whether to use he or him, put your verb back on the end of that sentence. You are certainly taller than he or him is. And of course, you would not say, you are taller than him is. You would say, you are taller than he is. So, you are certainly taller than he. Okay, so now let's look at when to use objective case pronouns. So objective case pronouns in comparisons occur or should occur when the pronoun is the object of a stated or an implied verb. So, for example, smoking annoys my boss as much as I or me. Now, a few minutes ago, I told you to put your verb back on the end, and that can help you determine the case. Well, in this case, you could do that also. You could try putting that verb back on the end. So smoking annoys my boss as much as I annoy my boss. That's probably not what you mean. You probably mean smoking annoys my boss as much as smoking annoys me. And now you're an object. You need that objective case. You can actually write this, smoking annoys my boss as much as me. So you have that implied verb phrase. Or I should say, smoking annoys. So you need to have an objective case pronoun, me. Annoys is the verb. Smoking will be the subject. Okay? Now, sometimes, just like in the case a few seconds ago, the pronoun you choose can actually change the meaning of the sentence. Let's look at this example. Albert causes John as many problems as she or her. Both of these can be right, actually. So you could mean that Albert causes John as many problems as she causes him. And then in that case, she would be correct. If you mean that she causes John as many problems as Albert does. But you may mean that Albert causes John as many problems as Albert causes her. So if that's the case, you would need to use her. So I ended this sentence, finally I said, so Albert caused John as many problems as Albert caused her. Because I think that makes more sense. but both could be correct. You have to know what you mean. Just realize that if you don't add that verb phrase back on the end, or you don't put Albert causes to precede your pronoun, you're going to tell your reader, you're going to convey a message that your reader is going to understand one way, and you may not mean it to be that way. So be careful which one you choose, because pronoun case definitely does convey a message in this sentence. Very important that you choose the correct one to convey the message that you mean to convey. So let's look at let you test your understanding. Take out a sheet of paper if you would like to, and you can pause this. I'm going to read these to you, but you can also pause it and just choose the correct answer that you think, and then we can check it on the next one. So his sister earned a higher grade on the test than he or him. Number 2, their friends do not ski as well as they or them. Number 3, he paid her more than I or me. And I gave you a hint. The speaker here is the employee too. My brother is taller than I or me. Number 5, we left the class as early as they or them. Number 6, Sandra worked later than I or me. And number 7, Josephine has more allergies than I or me. So let's check the answers here. Her sister earned a higher grade on the test. His sister earned a higher grade on the test than he earned. Right? Because you can put that verb back on the end and say earned. Their friends do not ski as well as they or them ski. It's going to be, of course, as they ski. You wouldn't say them ski. He paid her more than he paid me. And that's why I put the hint there that the speaker, or the writer, I guess I should have said, is an employee also. My brother is taller than I or me am. Of course you would say taller than I am. We left the class as early as they or them left. And of course you would say they left, not them left. Sandra worked later than I or me worked. So you would say I worked, not me worked. Josephine has more allergies than I or me. Than I or me have. Of course you would say that I have. So I hope you got them all correct. And if you didn't, please go back and review this video and see what you can find. Also, ask me if you have any questions. You've got my email address in your syllabus, and I've also given you my text number, so please text if you have any questions after viewing this. I'll be happy to help you. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.